Hi everyone, I'm Miss Kimberly. Welcome to Bedtime Bible Stories for Kids. Remember that this is Holy Week, and this is the week where we look back at Jesus' life, his death, and his resurrection. Today, our story is of Jesus' last days on earth and of how the Son of God rescued his people from sin. So get comfy, grab a pillow and your favorite stuffed animal as we read Jesus Saves His People. Jesus and his disciples traveled toward Jerusalem for the last time. Jesus had done many wonderful things and amazing things, but the chief priests and scribes were very angry with him, so angry that they wanted to kill him. Jesus stopped at a small village along the way and said to two of his disciples, "Go into the village. There you'll find a young donkey tied there that no one has ever ridden. Bring it here. If anyone asks what you're doing, say that the Lord needs it." The disciples found the donkey. As they untied it, some people asked what they were doing. "The Lord needs it," they said, and the people let them go. Jesus rode the donkey into Jerusalem. A great crowd of people came out to see him. They covered the road with their robes and with leafy branches, and they shouted, "Hosanna! He who comes in the name of the Lord is the blessed one." When the time for Passover came, Jesus shared the meal with his 12 disciples. He took some bread, gave thanks for it, and gave it to them. "Take this," he said. "This is my body, which I give for you." Then he took a cup, gave thanks, and gave it to them. "This is my blood," he said. "It is shed for the forgiveness of sins." Then after singing some psalms, Jesus and the disciples went out, all except Judas, the one who would betray Jesus. He had already slipped away. Jesus and his disciples went to a garden called Gethsemane. "Wait here," Jesus said. Then he took Peter, James, and John deeper into the garden. "Stay awake with me while I pray," he said. Then after going a little farther, Jesus fell to the ground and prayed, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, but let your will be done, not mine." When Jesus came back, he found the disciples sleeping. "Couldn't you stay awake with me 1 hour?" he asked. Jesus went away to pray again. And again he returned to find his disciples sleeping. After praying a third time, he came back and said, "Are you still sleeping? Get up, my betrayer is coming." At that moment, Jesus appeared with a large mob of people. They were carrying swords and clubs. Judas went right up to Jesus and kissed him. This was a sign to the mob to arrest him. When they grabbed Jesus, all of his disciples ran away, leaving him alone with the mob. Jesus was taken to see the high priest. "Tell us if you are the Son of God," he shouted. "You have said it," Jesus answered. The high priest tore his robes, and the crowds shouted, "He should die!" Then they slapped him and beat him and spit in his face. When morning came, they took Jesus to Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate wanted to free Jesus, but the crowds shouted, "Crucify him!" Because Pilate was afraid of the people, he sent Jesus to be killed. Roman soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. "Hail, King of Jews," they laughed. Then they led him away. Jesus was taken to a place called Golgotha and nailed to a cross. 2 criminals were crucified with him, one on the right, the other on the left. For 3 hours, darkness covered the land. Then Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" After that, he gave up his spirit and died. A great earthquake shook the land, and the soldiers guarding Jesus said he really was the Son of God.